trailer park type of community. It was very dusty and, just kind of like low class. I remember seeing like the people that I knew and how they would sleep. And I also remember, just seeing some very, very, very weird acts as far as two men. They actually begin to like become sexual with one another in this room that I was in, and right before they could begin their sexual acts, their father, one of their fathers came in, or uncle, and he basically like ran and hid behind the door and wrapped a towel around him, and then he like played it off and walked from behind the door so that he wouldn't get caught, doing whatever he was about to do. And then there was a lady who walked in. They were Haitian. They were all Haitian. There was a lady who walked in, and she had on a tarot shirt, a tarot reader shirt. And I remember asking her about the tarot reader she had visited prior, and she was saying like the lady wasn't very accurate. Like she wasn't like going into detail. Not necessarily sure when she went to that tarot reader, but she was just explaining how the lady wasn't going into detail. And then I remember telling her the reason that they aren't, saying a lot of things because they don't have faith and confidence within themselves to believe, what they're hearing. And then she just kind of looked at me like, like she gave me a very serious look, like, wow, maybe she's right. But anyway, eventually we began, my dream switched scenery, and I remember being in, the trailer, and it was, I remember looking down, it was my dad. Like everybody in this dream was acting off. It was my dad and my brother and his girlfriend. House was very, messy. But it was a trailer, and it was dusty, deserty outside, I remember. And I just remember the sun being so bright. And that's when I looked, like we were just basically roaming around, having a casual day, I guess. Like nothing odd, but their behavior, of course. But I remember looking down at bracelets and noticing that they were the bracelets of an ex of mine. And I remember buying him like some crystal bracelets, but to find them there was very unfamiliar with me. But the fact that I had recognized them, kind of made sense. So, still weird. We then end up going outside. I remember seeing like a bed, like a some type of pickup truck. The bed of it though was like out, as if someone would sleep out there. Like it was a very low class space of being. And then I remember like the scenery switched again. Nothing really happened around that time. My dad was acting very strange though, as if he was just an entirely different character. As we were outside. But then my dream scenery switched again, and we were more in an up-class space, up-class house. I remember it was my cousins there this time, and my aunt, my dad's sister, and their kids. And I remember how the people who were there, they began to act very differently, and very differently to the point where I'm not necessarily sure, because I have to hurry up and get this dream out, but we begin to have to protect ourselves from these children. They were like mid-teens, and they begin to become more and more robotic. We had to end up killing them. And I remember me and another woman, I believe it was my mother, but it was a mother figure for that matter. We had to run from these people and hide in these rooms and protect ourselves. And push come to shove, we ended up having to stab all of these kids. And I remember having to just walk behind them and stab each and every one of them. And I remember hearing in my dream multiple times, like I heard a voice say multiple times. So we had to stab these people multiple times in order for them to finally die out. Because I remember prior to that voice, there was a man, he was a bigger, heavier set guy. It was almost like these people were robots, literal robots, and they had no consciousness. They were just trying to kill us. They were just robots trying to kill us, but they looked like normal people, normal faces, normal shapes. Like there was this heavier set guy that I'm going to tell you about. Before I killed him with the knife, I remember stabbing him multiple times, but he didn't die. I remember stabbing him once. Like I stabbed him in the neck, and then I stabbed the lady that was with him in the eye. And I remember that wasn't enough. Like you had to literally continuously stab at these people, and you know what I mean, just to get them down. Like I had stabbed that guy in the stomach, but he was still walking towards me, kind of saying something, but it wasn't what he was saying, it's how he was acting. He was just robotic. He was programmed into just a zombie, you know what I mean? And after I had killed him, because I had to go back and stab him, because he was oh no, I didn't go back and stab him. Eventually he fell down. Like I said, he was still walking towards me, but eventually he fell down. It's like we had to make sure that they were dead. But kind of like a zombie in the video game. And it was so weird. But we were running all throughout this house. I remember running upstairs into we had 2 kitchens in the house. And it wasn't my house, but it was a very beautiful house. And I remember the kids being outside. There was just so many. And you know, there started off being 4 to 5 of them, y'all. And the more that I began to kill them, I realized how they just kept coming. So that's a sign. They definitely doubled. They doubled and they doubled, and their dead bodies were still there, but more came. We began to have to get out of the house because they would not stop multiplying. But eventually we had to go into this arcade type of room, upstairs on the top floor of this house. It was a small kitchen, a mini kitchen, arcade. You know, we were just up there. And we had to run into this room, and they were trying to bust down the door. And I remember having there were so many knives. Thankfully there was a kitchen. There were so many knives. No one stabbed me, but I was stabbing so many people that they just kept coming, and it was just impossible to be safe in the house. So eventually we all ran out. I believe it was me, a woman, and I'm not necessarily sure who else, but I remember us running down the street, and the lady tried to run deeper into the neighborhood, but to the right of us was a main road. She was running that way, and I said, "No, lady, this way." It was a black woman. I was I remember, "No, lady, this way." And I gotta tell you something about the queen that, she was in my dream as well. I don't know what that had anything to do with anything, but she came to my dream. And basically what happened was this woman, I don't know where should I, I'm gonna go back and then I'm gonna finish what I was saying. So the queen, quote, quote, she was in my dream, and I remember her, I had no respect for her, but I didn't disrespect her. So in the dream state, she had this pride around her, as if I'm the queen, but she didn't say it. You know what I mean? And I remember her kept trying to reach and grab me. I was like, "Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me." Like, I kept saying that, don't touch me. And you know what? In real life, I actually don't like when people touch me because I'm always vibrating in my own, like, mental, spiritual space. So when people touch me, they transfer that energy. And now I'm like, we feel all these different thoughts and whatnot. But she was trying to like grasp at me, but it was very slow. Like, she was kind of taunting with me, and I was being very serious. I was like, do not touch me. Don't touch me. And I remember my dad being there as if like a watch over me. He was kind of like to the right of me, and he was like, meanwhile, I'm standing on a porch, and she's kind of like on the ground, but she's like grasping at my feet, at my calves area. And I'm like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And she ended up touching me, and I scratched her. And then it was like a very subtle scratch, but I remember instantly thinking, now I have this lady DNA under my nails, you know? And it was weird because I scratched her and I seen black underneath my nail. But this is after I had thrown my phone at her forehead. I literally dropped my phone on her forehead because I was like backing up. And mind you, I was over her because I was on this very high porch sign. I was on this high porch and she was kind of lower, and she was grasping at my calves, like, and I'm like kind of playing around, joking, but I was being very serious. Do not touch me. And eventually she touched me, and then I scratched her. I scratched her arm and her forearm area. I remember scratching it straight down, but it wasn't as hard as it could have been, as I could have made it. And she eventually, she just stood there, and I remember dropping my phone on her, and she knocked out. She hit the floor. Literally, I don't know, she passed out. Like, my phone had hit her right on her forehead, and she just hit the floor. Eventually, she did get up, though, in a bit of confusion. But, yeah, that was while I was at that trailer park area, and remember I was saying it was kind of like sandy and whatnot. Yeah, she was there. She was only there for a little bit, though, on that particular scene. Okay, so now me and the lady finally broke out of the house. It was multiplying. I just keep seeing the people multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. Like, we were being bombarded, because the more that we would kill them, the more that they would come. So we ended up having to leave. And like I said, the lady was trying to go deeper into the neighborhood, and I automatically knew instantaneously that was not safe. We had to get away from this neighborhood, from this area, because they were everywhere. Eventually there were cars, like there was an orange car, a little mini Prius that had swung out of there was a complex, like a mini complex with like little businesses. It all looked very familiar, but it wasn't, like, it was like distinctly familiar. And something is coming up back to me about the men. The men are gay, and this industry, they're very gay, and they do very gay things, and they have sex with each other, and they're like, in my dream I was getting that they were like licking each other's assholes, and like, just being very disgusting with one another, and very comfortable with that act, as well, as if there were not one single vagina in the world. You know what I mean? These men are very comfortable with this act. But yeah, that was back when I was seeing the Haitian lady with the tarot shirt, and then the Haitian man and whatnot. But also in that specific scenery, I was naked, and I remember like trying not to judge them so they wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? It's almost as if I judged them, they would have pretended like they weren't doing that, or they wouldn't do that. I'm not sure why Spirit put me in that position, to see that, but I know that I had to witness that. So it's like I couldn't judge them. I had to pretend with them, so that way they can expose how they actually, and eventually, like I said, they bust in the room anyways, the Haitian guy and the Haitian woman. So he had to get up anyway and stop anyway. You know what I mean? But anyway, the Prius comes flying out of the complex to the left of the street, and there was like a main road area to our right. But as you turn off the main road, as soon as you turn right and make a sharp, quick, turn right, there's a complex right there of like many stores, whatever. There was a car that came out of there, but I realized that the car was going very fast, one, and the back door was open. It was weird. Like the back door was open as if like, ooh, an opportunity for us, but something was saying, don't get in that car. One, they were going too fast, so we couldn't get in that car, but two, they were headed back in the neighborhood. We then seen another car that sped across the street, or sped past us, and we couldn't, keep up with them. So we just like 2 to 3 cars passed us that we couldn't get in because of how fast that they were going, almost as if they were running from something, but they weren't. Like there was no sign of we're running from something. They were just going extremely fast. And then, mind y'all, it is 6, I don't know the exact time, but it's 6 a.m. in the morning, and it is September 9th, the 9/9 portal, and it's a full moon. So yeah, we finally see a blue pickup truck, and it was a smaller bodied pickup truck, the smaller ones. The more raggedy, ran down, all I do is work pickup trucks, you know what I mean? With like the little bars on the back. I don't want you guys to envision like bars on the back, but more so like, I don't know, some type of storage area on the back. And yeah, but it was a black guy, and mind you, the orange car was a white family. I didn't want to ride with them anyways, because it kind of told me afterwards, first of all, they were going in the wrong direction, and two, they would have been going way too slow. Because what I'm about to tell you is the next most crazy shit ever. So we literally got into this man's car, and the man turned. He ended up facing, I guess he was coming out of the main road area, because we were going back into that neighborhood. But I remember he having a quote unquote a job next door, or a couple of houses down from the house that we had just left. And the people were now outside. The zombies, they were literally like zombies. They were now outside. And these people, they were like coming towards us. Like they knew it was us. They were just like following us. And the man, he was like seemingly about to stop at that house that he had work to do on, but I was like, no, you gotta choose it. You gotta come back another day, or you gotta go get another job or something, because we cannot stop here. We can't be here today. Those people were coming. I said, they're gonna come. And he ended up having to turn right, and we ended up going down it was a longer dirt road. And it was seemingly like eventually those people, like we were on the back of the truck, I want to say. Yeah, because I remember getting like underneath those bars, to like hide or whatnot. And I don't know if we were standing up and kind of laying down. I don't know, because, dreams are weird. But I remember just being on the back of the truck, and like he was going. And I remember him, not necessarily going as fast, but he was going pretty fast. But soon before we knew it, they were in a truck behind us, and they were going fast. They were doing everything in their power to catch us. It's like they had all possibility, you know what I mean? And it was like they had all access. Like I said, they were multiplying in the house. And mind you, before we left that house, there was my cousin, my baby cousin. He's a baby cousin. of mine. He was at the bottom floor, like outside. He ended up outside in the backyard, and he ended up not being able to get help. We remember him kept saying, like, the mother I was with, she kept trying to get with him. Mind you, it's not his biological mother in this world, but it was a mother that was like trying to get to him, and he was outside, and he was like, all I can hear him saying over and over and over and over for like 10 minutes, because that's how long we were like in that house, fighting off those people. He was like, Ma, 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 just needing us to come get him, because those people were coming. Like, he knew those people were coming. And it was sad, because after we had got help in that truck, I thought about the child. He was outside in a gated, fenced yard, trapped with those people, you know what I mean? And I forget to tell you, they had so many children under, it just came to me what they were under. They were under some type of like control, as if it'll come to me, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, when people are consciously under some type of like psychosis, and they're being like controlled without even knowing it. It's like their programming is already like fixated to whatever their director is wanting them to do, which is why they kept multiplying, which is why they were inevitably coming for us, which is why they got a car, they were chasing us, they were always up on it, you know what I mean? It's like they were just controlling everything around us. And the children, I remember as the blue pickup truck went back, remember I said he had to go through the neighborhood again, because he was originally going to go do a house on that street. Every house we passed by, there were a group of children, and there's something about the half moon, because they were all sitting in a half circle. So there's something about a half moon, or the full moon, is what the spirits are trying to point out to me, because two halves make a whole. So each house, there was about 3 houses, and maybe about 4, maybe more, you know what I mean? It's almost like there's some type of ritual being done with the children. They were all small. Like, one house was like singing, one house was like clapping, like the children were clapping, like they were being under some type of mind control, like they were all facing one direction, and they were just just looking at their teacher, you know what I mean? But there was no one actually there. They were just all like in like a void mentally, which is why their vessels were being used. They were one house, the group of kids, like they were all sitting in like a half moon type of crescent type of formation, and they would clap. One house was clapping, the next house they would be like all just, I remember seeing, this is what I'm seeing now, and this tells me this is happening overseas or in the islands, where all of the children are not always being supervised, because one of the children in the spirit, I'm glad this stood out to me, one of the children was wearing a soccer shirt, a striped soccer shirt, but the striped soccer shirt was in the colors of the Jamaican culture, green and yellow, and it instantly came to me. These people are stealing and programming these children. And what is it called, y'all, when the kids or when minds are under like a control? It's like there's a specific term for it that I'm trying to look for, because that's exactly how they were. I think it's under MK Ultra. Yes, thank you. Okay. Whew. Thank you, Spirit. They were under MK Ultra, and we could not, like, you cannot fight these people because they're robots. You know what I mean? We kept that. The reason I heard that voice that said multiple times, stabbed them multiple times, because we had to ensure that they were dead. Mind you, y'all, I was stabbing these people in the eye once, like in the throat, in the stomach, in the backs. Like, this was like me just trying to like get rid of them. And they kept forming, they kept multiplying. And I mean multiplying. There ended up being at least 20 people in the house. At first, it was 5. We were just chilling, kind of having like a cookout. I don't know, y'all. I'm getting something about a shift in the consciousness, in the mind, like MK Ultra, like the people who have been like submitting to this system. It's like they have them under their belt, just waiting to activate them. So we have to watch our family, is what I'm getting here. I don't know, because like I said, we were having a cookout. And like I also said, when we were at the trailer, my brother was there, his girlfriend was there, and my dad was there. And remember when I said my dad, like, it wasn't nothing weird happening, but they were just acting odd. Or excuse me, there was nothing odd, but they were acting weird. Now we are coming down the street. I backtracked a little bit. We were coming down the street in this pickup truck, and I was looking at these houses, and the children were now outside in form, like just under MK Ultra, just gone, completely blank, but participating in the act. Like I said, one group of kids was clapping. The next group was just kind of like crisscross applesauce, just like in a blank space, like it was just such a weird scenery. Like I had never seen it before. I had a dream like this, similar to this, but not necessarily at all. But this time it was the children they had. So, my God, this was a very powerful dream, because now that Queen Elizabeth girl died, this is exposed. You know what I mean? What they have been doing to the children that have been missing, that have been coming up missing, that have been being kidnapped and sex trafficked and tortured and harvested for their energy and their blood. Like they're using these children for corpse and for product. You know what I mean? For product, like to support their wickedness. You know what I mean? Because like I said, these children are under MK Ultra. So push come to shove, we pass these houses, and now we're like trying to run from these people. And it's like these people were just on our ass, literally, but we couldn't seem to like escape them. So eventually he couldn't, like, eventually we stopped, and we ended up getting out, and I remember saying, let me drive or I'll drive. And I remember doing the dash, and he had some type of accelerator or some type of like what is it called, like he had like this type of like, I don't know, like stick shift bar in the middle of his, it wasn't even a bar, it was like a metal U type of thing, but it was like in the center, it was like a metal round piece, and it was like just like a metal bar, and like we can push it forward and it would accelerate it, you know what I mean, faster, past the speed limit type fast. And for some reason when I drove, I was going faster, and we were like, there were so many dirt roads and so many dirt piles and hills and like obstacles and dirt trucks, the little dump trucks with the dirt on it. There were also the trucks with the cement in the back of it, the ones that spin, the white trucks that spin with the cement in it. There were so many like obstacles, you know what I mean? Almost as if this is their fucking plan. You know what I mean? But it was also conscious to me because I was too busy trying to get the fuck out. Eventually we were going and going and going. I don't know, there was a male with me, or there was someone else with me, like I said, there was the guy who picked us up, but there was like someone else with me. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, when we couldn't celebrate any faster, at the very moment before I woke up, we had, if you guys watched, there's a movie out there that talks about us, melanin people. There's a movie that talks about us when we, it's kind of like the Avatar. I'm gonna just use that, Spirit is saying use that example. So you know how in the Avatar, they have to pick their dragons, or they have to like slay their beast, and then it becomes their pet. Spirit is giving me that image, but it wasn't that animal. It was a striped tiger, but it was huge. I can pull it up. It's in a movie. That the animal that I'm actually seeing, that I actually dreamed about, was in a movie. I'm gonna show y'all. I wanna show y'all because I wanna. This is spirit. You know what I mean? This is a message. I never get the okay to share dreams, but I have to. It's like a cat, tiger, and let me see if this comes up. Excuse me. So it is a tiger. Tiger in animation or animated movie. Now let's hope this comes up. It was white. So, oh my gosh, this is it. But it was it had blood on it. You know what I mean? So it tells me that this was like a war god or something. It looked like this one. But I'm gonna show y'all a better, more real, like, y'all, thing had blood on it. You know what I mean? Like on its fur, right over here, as if like this was like a war. You know what I mean? Or a war. Look what spirit shows me. Wow. Blood. You know what I mean? It had blood on it. But it was, we all kind of like, sorry y'all, my cat is like here. But damn, why'd I take that? This, okay. This is what I seen. Y'all, those cats were huge, like bigger than trucks. You feel me? Bigger than cars. Like they were big as fuck. They were bigger than cars. That's what I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? And right before I woke up, like I said, I'm not even doing this extra shit, bro. Let me see. It kind of favored, like it was a real face. Maybe Spirit wants me to watch this movie, so let me screenshot this because I get a lot. Oh my gosh, yo, it was huge. Let me screenshot this movie. You feel me? This is the face. This is the cat. This is the face. And it had blood right here. Literally. Maybe it is a man-eater. This shit feels like a fucking dream itself. Oh my gosh. Okay, so right before I woke up, we were all three of us, me, the man, and the other person I was with. I don't know why I feel like saying man, because as we were running away from the home, it was a woman. So I don't know what that is within itself, but maybe Spirit is saying like only like few will survive, you feel me? Not many. And yeah, that was just a side note, but this is the cat, y'all. This was the cat. We were on these cats. We ended up being on these cats almost as if like we were about to fly off now. Like we were flying off. These things could fly. They could fly. Like the whole thing in what is it called? Hold on, y'all. Let's see. What is the movie called? I don't know if Spirit wants me to pull this up, but seen, what is it called? Amazon? Not Amazon. Damn, how did I forget? I'm gonna just find my way over there. Hold on. This is how I gotta come up with it, because it just been, there weren't aliens. Oh, Avatar. Okay, that's what it is. I had to remember some shit. Avatar. Animal scene, I guess. Because this is exactly animal. Whoa.